second year of BBA, and I was very weak in quant, right? So I found throughout my whole journey that there are two things that are very important in the prep. One is your preparation itself. The second is your strategy, right? So you can't just be preparing all day, all night without having a strategy for the exam. We're all different people and we have different strengths and weaknesses. And the exams, they present opportunities to maximize your strengths. So I would say that you identify what your strengths are and plan your preparation according to that. I'm not saying just focus on your strengths. Make that your central point and try to develop, sort of holistic approach in the other two sections, or if you're lucky, the other one section that you're not good at. I'd say it's 50% preparation, 40% strategy, and 10% luck. That the last thing you can't do anything about. You just have to do your best from your side and hope that everything works out well. And that's it. And I really invite you to look at this whole preparation as a precursor to what actually happens in an MBA. So you have to be consistent, because if you're not willing to put in that effort now, chances are that you won't be able to, enjoy the experience over the next 2 years. Don't compartmentalize your preparation and verbal to the time you're allotting to the verbal section, because language is everywhere, right? So you have language in the songs you're listening to, the movies you watch, the shows you watch. So you don't need to really retain words when you keep seeing them again and again. If you have that intent to look out for new words, when you see them being used in different contexts and different places, you'll figure out something yourself. Right? So I think verbal is really easy to prepare for if you have the intent to, look out for it constantly. And and editorial section especially you should emphasize on, because you should really try to develop an understanding where the facts are and what the opinion of the author is, and really try to differentiate the two, and that's where you gain insight. And that helps you even beyond your preparation for MBA. Even in classes today, I still use it. I've been horrible at quant throughout my preparation. So after one point, I stopped looking at it as a test of math, because you don't need math in an MBA, you don't need it after. So the only reason they're asking for it in the exam is to test your decision making. So what decision making do you have to do there? You need to analyze what your strengths are, your topics that you're strong in, and all the questions that come in the exam from that topic, you need to know the answer. And the topics that you're not good at, you need to know at least the sitting ducks in the exam, right? The formula application questions, you need to solve those ones. And be consistent with it, get at it every day. If you lose touch for 1 week, especially in quant, I think that's going to cost you. So if not anything else, make sure you're doing your quant module very well, consistently. And even if you're not seeing results, just have faith in the process and just keep going at it. I'd say ideally you should have a structure of your day as to when you're going to prepare for CAT and when you're going to do your college work. But if you're someone like me, which I hope you aren't, just set deadlines for every day. So you should have something that you want to clear today, and you're not going to sleep before clearing that. So that's how you maintain consistency, right? You have to be diligent and you have to commit to yourself that as long as I don't get this done, I'm not going to sleep. And then also focus on 2-3 things, and the rest of the things will fall into place. So if there's an important project in college, focus on that. Also focus on your CAT prep. Everything, that's ancillary to all these will fall into place on its own. So that's what I've done. Is if you're really clear about what you want to do 2-3 years down the line, you can check their placement reports, see the kind of companies and the kind of profiles they offer, and work backwards from there. Right? So I found a lot of merit in what NMIMS has to offer. So I made that my priority and I started working towards it. So that is also one thing you can do. That also gives you a horse eye focus on where you want to go and how you're going to get there. Essentially, there are 2 parts to a GD or PI process. One is your content, and the second is the way you communicate value. So for the content, it doesn't have to be separate from the newspaper reading for VARC is the same thing that will work for you in the GD or PI process. So work on that simultaneously. Don't look at it as a separate preparation. Just be consistent. And second, for the communication, do not ignore it, right? So you might have the best content, but if you can't present it in a legible form, it's of no value. And alternatively, if you have limited content, communication really takes emphasis there. So one thing that'll help you is think in points and write in points, right? Don't have paragraphs, think in points. And when you speak, just remember those points and you'll be more efficient there. And when you're writing, have an introduction, body, conclusion, and your own suggestions. That's how you should structure your thoughts. I had a study buddy during my preparation, and what we used to do is after every topic, after every exam, we used to discuss on over call. So the thing is, you realize that you're not alone in this, and what you're suffering from, there are other people who are also suffering from the same thing. And you know, as this pandemic has taught us, there's unity in suffering, so you don't feel as bad. And you know, you just are motivated to keep at it when you know you're not accountable only to yourself, you're also accountable to someone who's studying with you, right? So I think that is something you can also look into. I was asked the difference between passion and purpose. So it's a very abstract concept and I wasn't prepared for it, so it was very unsettling for me, but I think I was able to answer. I said that purpose has a more extroverted focus and passion has a more introverted focus. So in that sense, I was able to answer, but also prepare for such abstract questions because they're really trying to gauge your personality during a personal interview.